DMS dashboards. In this module, we'll give you a quick overview of the dashboard application in DataMiner. I say quick overview because there is another module which is creating dashboards, part of the administrator training, where we will go more in depth on how to create dashboards. Here, we're just gonna take a quick look on what is possible, what the result is, without going into the editing. Just browsing around a little bit, you could say. Okay, so dashboards. First of all, we're gonna take a look at a quick introduction, what the purpose is of the dashboards application, what we can achieve with that. We're gonna browse around in the new dashboard application, and I'll also briefly show you the older legacy dashboard app, which is still available in DataMiner. Okay, so a quick introduction is that basically sometimes in a DataMiner system you want to easily expose bits and pieces from here and there to typically people that are not so acquainted with the DataMiner system. So basically you want to create some kind of like a dashboard, a blank sheet, and you want to put here and there some bits and pieces on there. Could be some real-time KPIs, could be some trend graphs, some bar graphs, some charts, like a pie graph, things like that. So you can really create nice overviews so that an external party can just pull it up, take a look at it and have a nice overview of what, for instance, the status is on a specific service, or how the system has been behaving in the last 24 hours, or some more in-depth dashboards on specific elements in your DataMiner system. So you can easily create any kind of dashboard and make it available for other people in your company, or even customers from outside of your company. So you can see a couple of screenshots already on the right-hand side with some KPIs, some trend graphs, some bar graphs, so you can have different components you can easily publish on these dashboards. Now, we do also have that legacy application, the dashboard app. It's basically the same principle. They both are web-based, accessible from any platform. They both support real-time data that I can visualize on there. So they are quite similar, but the new environment at the bottom here is a little bit more flexible, more intuitive, and more easy to use. It's a little bit a more modern approach of the same thing, you could say. But you can see pie charts or trend lines and these kind of things you can also visualize in the older one. The new dashboards application is available since 9.6.9. Okay, so let's take a look on how we can access that. So you can navigate directly to the URL, your DataMiner system /dashboard to access the dashboard application. But if you log into the root, like the DataMiner dcpdma.skyline.be, if you just navigate over there and you log in, it automatically logs in here. You will see next to the monitoring and the ticketing app, depending if you have ticketing, you will also have that dashboards available from here. So you can easily start from there and basically go to the /dashboards application. So you of course need to log in, so the platforms are always nicely secured with your credentials that you need to specify. Now, what do we find on the UI? So we do have a home page where immediately we can get started with creating some new dashboards. We're not into the creating here. Access recent items. The recent is also available in the side panel there. We have the recent icon. If you click on there, you will have a panel with all the recently accessed dashboards as well. And then of course the main side panel is a hierarchical tree structure, or basically you can create folders as you wish to organize it a little bit and have all the dashboards you created available in that side panel. Whenever you click on something, it visualizes it on the right-hand side. Note you can click on the dotted icon there in the upper left-hand side, and that is to be able to switch to another app like the monitoring or the ticketing. And there is also a search available on top. Whenever you want to go back to this home page after you selected maybe in a dashboard, you can always click on dashboard, the name itself here in the header, to be able to easily switch back. So we don't really have a lot of dashboards on this. I'll show some others on another system. So we do have that recent available. We do have the tree available. We can easily navigate to some other apps in there. Whenever you go to somewhere and you want to go back, you can click on the dashboard to go back to the home page. And the search is there available as well. In the upper right hand side, you have your user icon where you can click to go to some settings and about, help, and also sign out. Now, that being said, let's take a look whenever we open up a dashboard. So when we load the dashboard, we will see the different components depending on how the dashboard has been created by the author. But you always have the reload button on the upper left hand side, and depending on your security rights, you also might have the possibility to do editing. Editing is not part of this module or not part of this video. That comes up later in the administrator part, more specifically. So the new dashboard apps gives you a wealth of components. Could be like just the name of the element with an overall state, a clock, some key parameters you can visualize in various ways, the real-time parameters like an LED bar. You can have bar graphs, pie charts, all these kind of things are available to really create any kind of overview with all the key performance indicators and key information you want to visualize on there. There is also the concept of feeds. Feeds allow you to make a dashboard a little bit more dynamic, you could say. Because if I create a dashboard that indicates here a couple of KPIs on an SLA, well, I might have like different SLAs in my system. So I want to easily switch between the different SLAs and not create like 10 or 20 different dashboards always doing the same thing. So therefore, you do have sometimes like a feed, we call it, a possibility to select something that feeds the dashboard. So in this case, I can actually switch between the different SLAs by clicking on the top here and selecting another feed. Let me check. I do have an example on that to immediately show you, like an SLA details. For instance, it shows me, oh, this SLA is still compliant. I have 100% availability. And here I can easily switch to another SLA to switch and see the outages and the key performance indicators of that specific selected SLA. So I can also go to that one. They're all doing a great job for the moment. So that's a feed. You could select a different SLA or a different service, a different element. It all depends a little bit on what the dashboard is, of course, showing. There is also the time range feed, a possibility to select a time range if that is applicable. For instance, for the trend graphs that are being shown in there, we can say like, okay, we are interested in last 24 hours or last week or last month, something like that. Typically, it's a drop-down feed with like the elements, services, parameters in there. We could also link like a list or a tree to like a details panel to feed it. So you do have some more specific items, but basically the dashboard typically behaves interactively, you could say, and you can select and really drill down into certain items. Now, before we go into the legacy one, let me show you also a couple of other examples. I believe we have here also like a dashboard overview that gives me some details. Let me show you like this. So here we have some key performance parameters that are shown in there. Also a trend graph is being shown in there. We do have also, I believe, another trend graph here at the bottom. There is some more data loading there as well. But what else do we have? That's a service overview that we have over here. And let me load that, yes, where we also actually integrate a Visio file. So a Visio file can also be visualized in there. Alarm lists can be shown in there. We could have button panels to actually select a source and a destination and do a take of that. We have special components, node edge components to visualize information. There's also all kinds of different styles you can use on how to visualize a certain key parameter there. So we have just one parameter here, but visualized in various different ways. Also, trend graphs have a lot of nice goodies, and they are also interactive to, for instance, scroll and zoom. To more zoom in, we have a side panel here with some more details on what we are showing if it's only one parameter. But actually this one is also showing the percentile with the dotted line there. So these kind of nice things can be added to the trend graphs as well. Spectrum thumbnails can also be added. Details on a Grandmaster PTP. You can really add some more details as well, really going into table views and things like that. So you have a lot of possibilities to really make this a nice interface and show just high level information or really deep down information as well. So that's a little highlights on the dashboards. The legacy dashboards app, I'm not going to spend too much time on that because it is going to go end of life at some time. Basically, the new dashboards is now up to the same level of functionality. So I would advise you to start using the new dashboards app. But just for sake of being complete, you are able to access the old legacy dashboards app in the apps menu of DataMiner Cube. Let me show DataMiner Cube, apps, reports and dashboards. So in there you have the reports and you have the dashboards. If I go to the home page, if I select dashboards, you do have a list of the dashboards. And if I select one of the dashboards, you do have the information available there. That is embedded inside Cube here, but actually if I open up my web browser again, I do also have the possibility to go to dcp-dma/dashboards. So with an S, it is the legacy one. Without an S, it is the new one. A subtle difference. So you have the same thing in standalone as well, so you don't necessarily have to open it inside DataMiner Cube. But basically it gives you a little bit the same thing, but differently shown. A list of the dashboards, also in the side panel, it shows the dashboards. If they are activated, you can activate or deactivate it with the first icon here. Basically decide if it's shown or not in that list. You can create new dashboards, you can search or filter in there as well. And if you drill down into a dashboard, you do have some tree navigation next to the title and some information icon with the description of the dashboard. Less important, I believe. But the dashboard can contain a little bit similar data as I've just shown in the new application with pie charts, trend graphs, real-time parameters, spectrums, video thumbnails. All these kind of components can be nicely shown onto this HTML page. And also feeds is available there, so that can also be dynamic, where you can feed in an element or a service or an SLA to show the details of the selected feeds, similar as the new one. Here you can also basically combine several dashboards together with different tab pages. I think that's less important. So you get the hang of it. It's basically the dashboards allow you to create a blank page where we can just pick and choose certain bits and pieces from the DataMiner system, real-time data, trend graphs, bar graphs, charts, pie charts, all these kind of things can be nicely combined into a dashboard that I can easily expose on a web interface, HTML5 compliant with platform independent, so that external parties not so familiar with DataMiner can in just one click see all the necessary information that they needed. So that's a quick overview of dashboards. If you want to know more about how to create dashboards, that's in the administrator part, creating dashboards. Up to the next one.